violence in the United States is costing something like $2 billion a year. I was looking at all the data about what was killing kids. And what was killing kids where I live wasn't measles or mumps or chickenpox or cancer or even HIV. It was violence. Violence is not part of the human condition. It really is preventable.
By saying violence is a public health issue, what we're saying is that there is something we can do about it.
In 2006, Minneapolis began to face the rising crisis of youth violence.
Like back 2006 or 7, the police chief and I convened mayors and chiefs around the country. We got together in a room in Washington and said, here's what we're seeing. Increasingly young kids, increasing access to guns. And for 4 hours, we got chills up our spine as every single mayor and chief told the exact same story. Okay, so then the next thing we did is we came back to our own community and we did that huge whiteboard. What is everybody doing? But start with a base of what is out there and map the assets you have.
The city wanted a plan that would value and strengthen our youth and address the complex factors that lead to violence. Working with community partners, youth and adults, teachers and clergy, health providers and neighbors, a plan was created. The Blueprint for Action to Prevent Youth Violence. The aim is to stop violence by building strengths in our young people, our families, and our communities. Like defeating polio, there is something we can do to prevent violence from overtaking our city. The plan has 4 goals that focus this work with youth. As Mayor Ryback explains,
that means that every young person is surrounded by a trusted adult. It means to intervene at the first sign of at-risk behavior. And it means that we don't throw our kids away. We rejuvenate no matter what. We added a 4th one because it was important, and it was to attack the culture of violence.
And the results? Between 2006 and 2011, there has been a 59% reduction in juvenile violent crimes and a 66% reduction in incidents involving guns and juveniles. In this film, we want to share each of the Blueprint goals and a few examples of some of the work being done to make Minneapolis a community of peace. Goal number 1, every young person is surrounded by a trusted adult.
When we came here, we did a demographic study of this area and found out that there's approximately 18,000 kids in a 1-mile perimeter of this place, from kindergarten through high school. If we can catch young people early and hug them, tie their shoes, wipe their nose, make them feel good about themselves, guess what? Just maybe you can get me to get through high school. Just maybe you can get me to go to college. And just maybe I can find a way to make a living for myself. It all ties together. So that's the real issue of what we're trying to get accomplished here.
Our work at Kwanzaa is all based around children. The reason why we did that is because we understood 2 things philosophically. One, if the children are well, then what? The community is going to be well. So if we start with the base of the children, and that's part of our Afrocentric heritage, we know that the community will be well.
Raise the bar high, have an expectation of excellence.
If your children have a home, mom and daddy have a home. If the children see themselves as global leaders and being able to make a global impact, then mom and daddy will be able to see that. It is based on the idea that the way to pursue peace, Mother Teresa says, is that we remember that we belong to one another.
To really support the mayor's blueprint, we pretty much had to change everything. Everything from where we put our resources, to how we did things, why we did things, and just the whole mindset about what we're here for. Long story short, what we do now is we focus on prevention, we focus on outcomes, and we work with everybody who is willing to work with us.
Blueprint goal number 2, Intervene at the first sign of at-risk behavior.
There's a lot of myths around truancy. What we have found very early on is that when you scratch, you don't have to scratch too deep to find out that there's almost each youth has their own unique story. So it's not a one-size-fits-all approach. It is really sitting down and finding out, why is it that you are not going to school? Why is it that you are not engaged in school? And then what can we do? Over 3,000 youth come through this center.
Blueprint goal number 3. We don't throw our kids away. We work to restore and get them back on track.
Now, these 2 pieces of paper do magic, do wonders. This is the one we go into jail with. And it simply just says, your community cares, get out and stay out of jail. That's all. Just get out and stay out. The path to real manhood is freedom.
Yeah.
So the slogan is that you can be free and really handle some business, or you can be locked down and be locked down out of everything that means something in your community and to your family. So we're saying that this is your get out of jail card, but you got to do something. You got to change.
Yeah.
You have to think different, and we teach them.
I'm so proud to see that Minneapolis and the Department of Health gave us this opportunity to work with these young men, to work with them. These are our babies now.
Yeah, they are. Yeah.
This is an investment. This ain't no job. This is an investment.
Blueprint goal number 4. Recognize that violence is learned and can be unlearned by reducing the impact of violent messages in our culture.
How do we counterbalance some of that negative activity youth have been put into? And that's where we started with Picturing Peace.
The opposite of violence is peace. So to prevent youth violence, it's important to promote communities of peace. That's why we participated in this cool project called Picturing Peace. Picturing Peace gave us the chance to take pictures of people, places, ideas, and things promoting peace in our communities. It allowed us to document and start talking about what helps youth in our community thrive.
I've been working with the Youth Congress, and so has the business community, on listening to what the youth have to say.
In addition to what you said about the Youth Congress, they have a slogan, no decision about us without us. So those are really go-to places for us decision makers to go and to bring ideas and get their responses, and a formalized way to get youth engaged.
Agreeing to be an active participant in building and moving forward a common strategy for the welfare of young people, children, and families in the city of Minneapolis, so that no decision about us without us will become a reality. Congratulations.
What if we found out that making sure the kids felt loved, engaged, employed, and had a future was good medicine? It might actually cut down on the violence in our community.